Hey everybody, this is Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be just doing an audio version of this teaching. I'm not planning on replacing the normal videos that I typically do, but I thought this might be a good way to change things up. But today we're going to be covering an important question called how persistent should a Christian guy be in pursuing a girl if she rejects him at first? So, my first inclination is to tell guys just to respect what she says and move on. The reason I say that is because I hear so many stories of guys hanging on to hope when they really shouldn't be. I know women who've had guys be persistent even after she's told the guy no, and eventually it just ends up getting kind of creepy, to be honest with you. So in most cases, I believe a guy should pursue a girl one time, clearly express his feelings for her, and then he can move on one way or the other because he knows he tried, whether she accepts his offer to try to see if their relationship might work, or if she rejects him, he can then know he gave it a shot and then he should just move on. However, I've heard of just like too many stories where a guy got rejected but kept being persistent with a girl and then it eventually worked out. I actually personally know two married couples where the woman originally rejected the man, but the guy kept being persistent, and then they eventually started dating and got married. So, in this teaching, I'll do my best to give guys some advice on how persistent they should be in pursuing a girl, even if she rejects him at first. So point one is don't keep pursuing her if she rejected you for spiritual or moral reasons. I think the wise thing to do at first is to try to figure out why this girl has rejected you before you should keep pursuing her. If she's scared of commitment and doesn't want to get hurt, then she might need you to be persistent to prove to her that you really like her and are not just playing games. However, if she rejects your advances and gives you a moral or a spiritual reason for not wanting to be with you, you should respect that. If she needs time with God or feels you are not spiritually compatible with each other, you don't want to become a temptation for her. Sometimes persistence towards a girl is actually rebellion towards God. There's nothing wrong with asking God if he wants you to be with a certain girl. However, when God gives you a clear no, and then you keep pursuing God about this question, and you're basically demanding a yes, this can become offensive to God, and he might actually discipline you for being so stubborn. One example like this is that of Balaam in the Old Testament. Balak wanted Balaam to get God to curse the Israelites. When Balaam sought God's counsel about cursing the Israelites, God said in Numbers 22, verse 12, "You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed." So God was not mad at Balaam for asking this question originally. However, when Balaam came again to God with the same request later on in the story, even though God had given him a very clear answer already, this is when Balaam started to get in trouble with God. And you can read about that more in Numbers 22, verses 15 through 22. So in the end, Balaam ruined himself by persistently seeking what he wanted while rejecting what God had clearly told him. So I know that is not directly related to relationships, but I think the principle does relate to this question we have. So if you are considering pursuing a girl and God gives you a clear no because of sin or a clear biblical reason that you two should not be together, then you are actually going to hurt yourself by being so persistent. If a girl cites a spiritual or a moral reason for not being with you, you should not keep pursuing her when she tells you that she doesn't want to be with you. So point two is don't be persistent if she says no and then truly shows you no interest. So on this one, you're definitely going to need some social maturity. If you ask her out and she says no, but then she makes eye contact with you one day, don't think this changes anything. But, say for example, she comes and sit next to you at church when she could have sat anywhere and the whole auditorium is empty and she sits right next to you, she might be a little bit conflicted inside. My point here is that there is a strong and obvious no when someone really does not like you. If a girl avoids you in the hallway or seems annoyed when you speak to her, you should not be persistent in pursuing her. However, if a girl rejects you when you ask her out, but she continues to want to be around you and build a friendship, there could be reasons to be persistent down the line. Notice I said could be and not automatically. So you're going to want to look at her past if you can. Is she saying no because she really doesn't like you? Or is she saying no because she actually likes you so much she's afraid of getting hurt again? This is hard to know, so you should be patient when trying to figure this out. Don't be prideful and assume her no is not genuine, but again, she may just need some extra persistence to make sure that you're being serious and you actually like her. Point 3, a guy should be persistent if she says no, but then she also wants to keep building a friendship and shows interest in him. One scenario that I've seen is when a guy asks a girl out, she declines, but she also states that she would like to get to know him more. In this context, she does not want to date you or be romantic at all right away. However, she is open to building a friendship and open to her feelings changing down the line. If a girl leaves the door open for friendship, I believe you should walk through it. Don't be persistent in dating her if she says she does not want to do that, but take what you can get, so to speak, if you really like her. Build a friendship, and then if things keep progressing down the line and moving in the right direction, perhaps you should keep pursuing her and being more persistent in dating her after some time has passed and you have grown in your friendship with her. Point 4, a guy should be persistent if a girl's feelings change towards him. So you don't want to be stubborn and don't let your ego get in the way. If a girl rejects you at first, but then down the line starts to like you, don't reject her just because she rejected you first. One married couple that are friends with Bethany and I had this happen to them. The guy asked her out and she politely declined. However, over the months, they became better friends, and just being in the same circle of people at church, they, started to build on their relationship just naturally in friendship. One day, he went out of his way to help her with something, and something in her clicked, and she started realizing what a great guy he is, and she started liking him. After a while, he sensed something had shifted with her, and so he gave it another shot. They dated and were married shortly after that. So, if the girl's feelings change, a guy should pursue the girl again, even if she said no beforehand. And point 5, a guy should not be persistent for more than 2 times. In closing, I think it's a good rule of thumb for a guy to not be persistent more than twice. If a guy pursues a girl in a clear way and she rejects him twice, I believe he's pressed it far enough. After that, he will most likely be perceived as a creep. The key here for the guy is being clear. I'm not talking about vague and passive advances. You can be a little more persistent if you're trying subtle ways to pursue a girl. But if you have a DTR talk or you clearly express your interest in her and you do this more than twice, I think you're a little bit off base. You run the risk of being a little bit creepy on your second attempt anyway. I think on your third attempt, it's pretty much a guarantee you will look like a creep in most cases. But obviously, this was just my opinion, as the Bible does not give us commands here about how many times a guy should pursue a girl. So this was just my best advice on this question. What would be really cool is if the ladies who are listening to this would let us know what their thoughts are in the comment section below. Ladies, do you agree with the advice I gave here, or was it completely off? What advice would you give guys about being persistent without being creepy or disrespectful? Let us know in the comment section below. So again, I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe even share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. The AGW community is growing every day, so it's a great time to join what the Lord is doing here. Well, thanks again for watching and listening, and God bless.